And welcome back to the Kiosk Presents. Steve here. Joining me today is Tony Harnell, recording artist. You've heard his work in just about everything. He's written songs, he's a vocalist. What can't he do? And also joining him is Dr. Harrell from the American College of Endocrinology. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today here on the Kiosk Presents.
Thank you.
All right, Tony, now I heard that you had some issues a while back, or experience with thyroid cancer. Can you tell us a little about how you got involved?
How I got involved with thyroid cancer?
No, you know what? No, yeah.
I said, can I please have thyroid cancer? No. Well, you know, I had it, and I went through a pretty long process of getting from the point of early discovery to actually getting diagnosed properly, and then getting it treated. What was your question exactly?
Well, specifically, now you're actually helping out with the research and awareness campaigns. How did you get involved with that stuff?
Well, my current doctor is Dr. Jeffrey Mechanic here in New York, who is the current president of ACE, and he, he and I have become really close, and he's listened to my music, and he's really watched my. I'm sort of a success story because I had a pretty advanced form of the type of thyroid cancer that I had, and I had a very successful treatment and recovery, and my voice remained intact, which is something that doesn't always happen with people after the surgery. So we were talking, and this just sort of, I wanted to give back, and he asked me if I was interested, and I was reluctant at first because I didn't want to be seen as, a sick person or a cancer patient, but I looked at it a little further, and I thought, if I can help people and inspire people and make them realize that this isn't a death sentence, and you can come out the other side, and I have no signs of cancer now, and my voice is as good as it's ever been, making music again. So it's kind of a good place to be to inspire other people.
Now, especially as a singer, that could be very scary when you get diagnosed with that. What are the signs and symptoms that someone might recognize?
Well, for me, I felt lumps in my throat and in the front, and then eventually that turned into neck pain when I was singing, and that led to feeling sort of like the lumps were getting bigger, and saw a doctor early on, but he kind of told me not to worry about it, so I didn't really end up getting diagnosed until much later, and by that time it had spread a little more and became a little bit more of a problem, so that the initial surgery that I could have gotten if it was detected when I initially went to the doctor would have been a very easy, shorter surgery, and ended up being a very extensive one.
Okay. Unfortunate situation there. How can people, Dr. Harrell, how can people perform a self-exam?
Self-exam is easy, and what we hope is that more people will do it thanks to Tony's efforts to bring thyroid cancer to the attention of the American public. All it involves is picking up a glass of water, taking a sip, and watching yourself swallow in the mirror, and looking for movement below the Adam's apple. Not the actual Adam's apple, but below the Adam's apple, just above the breastbone. Looking for movement and looking for solitary lumps, bumps that move up and down when you swallow. If you see these sorts of things, go to your doctor and get evaluated. And just like Tony, if you're not satisfied with the evaluation, move on to an endocrinologist who's an expert in thyroid cancer care, and get examined there. Because endocrinologists have access to ultrasound in their office, many of them, and they can actually use ultrasound to look directly at your thyroid if it's necessary.
Where can people get more information about this sort of stuff?
We have a website called thyroidawareness.com that contains all sorts of information about thyroid disease and specifically thyroid cancer.
All right. That's fantastic. And one last thing for Tony. Tony, what new projects are you working on?
I have a new record out called Tony Harnell and the Wildflowers, featuring Bumblefoot from Guns N' Roses. And you can find that on my website, tonyharnell.com. A new video called Burning Daylight, and that's also there when you get to the website.
fantastic. I can't wait to see it. I hope everyone in Buffalo and West New York both checks themselves and takes care of themselves. And thank you so much, Tony and Dr. Harrell, for joining us today here on the Kiosk Presents.
Thank you.